Okay. After Brother Chima.
Dhamma of you here. Very good morning. Very good morning. My day. Look at the bed. Shining bright. Good bed. Today is special. Sunday Buddha service. It's the first time since the movement control order. And actually it's back because Sunday service physically and SJBA Shrine. Happy now have the opportunity to gather together as a community, learn the Dhamma together. Some of you say now we have the opportunity to bring the family together. As a weekly Sunday together. Listen to the Dhamma, share with your friends. We are going to read again on the Dhamma Buddha presence in the Dhamma. Those in the hall, welcome back to the Shrine Hall. We hear the last night. It's great to meet each other this morning. Again, catching up with each other as parents, with your friends. It is the online, it is the 90th Online Sunday service. Those who have been following us via the online, Facebook, or YouTube, please continue to give us a like. Type the messages in the chat box. Continue to engage with us. Share this Sunday just with the Dhamma topics of family and friends. Because staying with easy is one of the Sunday Buddha service and over this morning, G. Land shining, surrounding people with this offering, item and item one, style the Dhamma serving members. The massive flowers, all that the saviors looks like me. I offer this flower just as a flower leaders basically to his body from mind, us, what I'm doing and this. Ram Puji that will join us this morning. It is auspicious because it has been a long time. Many of us are yearning to come back into paradise. That I would like to invite our SJBA President, Dd Khoo, to give you a welcome speech for the first physical Sunday Buddha Puja service.
Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. For you in our shrine this morning, as well as our online devotees, greetings on SJBA Puja. It has been a little more than 2 years since we stopped our Sunday Puja service physically in this shrine hall. We must always put the Dhamma of ours due to the rising cases of COVID-19. It's good that today we may come back to a physical online industry. It's good for us to come together and
now very actively involved in training and is involved in volunteering with service at the creator, which is head of program for advancement in Dhamma leadership for heaven. This creator is under the initiative of the Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia. Today he is also an EXCO member in EDC. The speaker has spoken of several titles in the online university. So many of it, in fact, it's a long list. Today is going to do it very different title. For the first physical Sunday Buddha service, we are indeed honored to have Dd Khoo Nee Wern this morning's Dhamma sharing. In fact, Dd Khoo Nee Wern is very excited to be at this physical Sunday Buddha. I must tell you, looking forward to this morning. Wow, I am sure he has learned. Good morning, you. You have been asking when you can present your Dhamma sharing physically in this shrine or in order to be the devotees. You really have passion into it. Wow, what makes you have this great passion?
Okay, before we go further, since there are some technical things online, for those of here, be a bit patient. They're trying to do a hybrid. So when you do hybrid, we need to settle both sides here as well as, the online. So for take a little bit of moment, Yek, how? Okay, can you see me online? And okay, is everything okay now? Okay, I take a moment to appreciate that we are trying to get people back into the SJBA. How many of you are kind of very excited to come here this morning? Okay, all right. If you are excited, then it's good to say sadhu resoundingly, because sadhu means awesome. Sadhu means awesome. So we say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very wonderful. It's a joyous morning, okay? Yeah, okay. Brother Andy is trying to show the online, and those who are actually still online and trying to let me just adjust the camera. Those who are online who are trying to listen, I hope you can listen in. And I understand we have a very loyal online following from Facebook. Please continue to engage online. But those who are living in the vicinity or even close by, even people as far as PJ, Puchong, we invite you to actually come into this wonderful shrine hall. SJBA has been a very close and meaningful place for me, just to give you a little bit of background. But before I go into that, I would like to say, first of all, thank you, Didi Chim. Please say sadhu 3 times for his opening this morning. He's our newly elected president of Subanjaya Buddhist Association and also the former president. So he is re-elected into SJBA. We have my friend here, Didi Chuan and Brother Yek, and also Brother Andy. Can you see Brother Andy right there? He's trying to do the the screen. So he's the deputy president, and I'm the one of the EXCO members of the SJBA. Okay, so those of you who are here this morning, I'm happy to see everyone. I think we are, trying to come back to a place where we can feel a sense of community, a sense of togetherness, where we can come as friends. And I understand there are some young Indonesian friends here, yeah, and as well as my old friends from long ago. So I would like to start off my sharing by, first of all, thanking everyone for making the effort. I think it's been a while since we see people in this hall sitting here, being part of this, this journey of cultivation. And and I volunteered to be the first one to come and do the Dhamma sharing. Subsequently, we will have further new, different type of Sunday services that will be in weeks to come. So we actually making sure that we also coincide with the Dhamma school, which is already back. And how many of you are Dhamma school parents? Yeah, okay, well, well done. So as the children learn the Dhamma in the Dhamma school, you can also be part of the learning journey. And I think that's a very auspicious thing. And that's why I titled my talk Auspicious Victory. So is it, Brother Yek, can I show my slides so that, yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm going to control my slides. So I call this title Auspicious. I'll tell you why I call this title. There's a special meaning for it. I got this inspiration from actually Brother Chim, who gave me the idea. And I'll tell you later why I call today's title Auspicious Victory. It has a lot to do with us. Okay, it has a lot to do with us. But I would like to talk about how can we create the conditions for spiritual success. What is the meaning of spiritual success? Okay, for that matter, what do you understand by spiritual? Anyone from the hall? What do you understand by the word spiritual? When you say, I want a spiritual thing, what is a spiritual to you? Don't know, leh. Not very sure, leh. Yeah. What do you understand by the word spiritual? Okay, maybe it's too big a word. So, but I'm sure when we say spiritual, there's a reason why we call it a spiritual experience. Spiritual means different things to different people. And I would like to define spiritual as answering some important questions we normally ask. What is the single desired thing that we want most in life? That's the important question to ask. How do we get them? Right? What is the one thing we want from life? How do we get them? That's a very important question to answer. I'm sure we have this question at the back of our mind. And so we search for things outside of us, such as we try to, find ways to feel a certain comfort. If we are not comfortable, we try to find comfort. If we are maybe not so happy, we try to find a way to feel a little bit happier. That's what we want to do, and so we find ways and means to get those things. And some of us work very hard to feel those things. Those who are studying, you study very hard to make sure you get something along that line. For those of us who are parents, for that matter, what is the one single thing I want most in life? My kids don't give me problem. Yeah? So, sorry? No problem. Okay, so I want my children to be healthy, okay? That's one thing. If you get that, you feel satisfied. If you got a lot of problem, we feel not satisfied. So those are the things. So, but the reality is sometimes we feel like this, right? Sometimes we feel like this, right? Oh my goodness, how I wish life is different. Yeah? Why is life so difficult? Why is life so impossible? Sometimes I just feel like giving up. How many of you feel this way sometimes? Yeah, I do feel that way sometimes. Feeling very down, very, very, almost like, just certain, you feel certain days. All right? And we wonder, what happened? Why is it like that? Correct or not? Then he says, some days I feel like this. Yes? Some days you feel like this. All right? So the question is, which one more lah? Which one more? The left one or the right one? If you have more on the left, chances are the life is becoming miserable, unhappy. It's a daily battle of survival. But if we have more on this side, there's a chance that every day is a nice day, beautiful day, good day, and a very comfortable and peaceful day, whatever it is. The issue now is this. Some of us may experience one more than the other. And sometimes we have the right-hand side one, but it's temporary. A few days or a few weeks of bliss, 6 months of misery. Okay? Yeah? So that's what happens. So sometimes we feel that way. Or some of us may doubt, so no, my life is quite all right. It's quite smooth sailing. Everything is okay. Only occasionally I may have one or two problems. So it depends. But all these are temporary. We just wish we have more of this compared to the other one. We want happiness. We want well-being. That is what it means by a spiritual experience. If you want a spiritual experience, the only thing you can say that when I feel very spiritual is when I feel happy, I feel satisfied, I feel peaceful. There's a certain sense of well-being that comes out. If we don't feel that way, it is not a spiritual experience anymore. All right? So that is important. So the big question to ask, of course, is our environment around us conducive for our spiritual growth? Now, what do you mean by environment? What do you mean by environment? The physical environment? The people around you. Yeah. The atmosphere, right? Some atmosphere is good, some atmosphere is terrible. Yeah. Okay, what else? How many of you feel sometimes, I wish I live in a different place? Yeah? Yeah, you wish you're living somewhere else. Okay, and that's why we go somewhere else. You're right. So why? Because certain places do not have the right conditions. It's as simple as that. It's also the people that are around me. Let me tell you an analogy. I got this analogy from somewhere, and it says, how many of you got fishes in the aquarium at home? Nobody got fishes. Different kind of hobby, eh? Okay. Now, assuming you know people who have fishes at home, they have aquarium, okay? Now, when the fish in the aquarium is not well, how do you know the fish is not well? They swim sengit lah. Okay, they swim sengit, or their behavior. Somehow people who rear fish, they know their fish behavior. They even can name them. Okay, this is Lionel, Richie, whatever it is. But they are the fishes have an identity there, and sometimes they feel the fish is not healthy. So what do they do? What do they do when the fish is not healthy? Trying to treat the fish. Okay. How do you treat the fish? Actually, you cannot treat the fish one. There's no way you can take the fish to the vet or to the doctor. There's no way. You can't treat the fish. Correct or not? Can you treat the fish? Yeah. So you got to do what? You got to treat the water. You got to treat the water. The water has to be either changed or treated or doing whatever it is to make sure that the water and the ecosystem is conducive for the fish to continue to live. In other words, you treat the environment, you don't treat the fish. So similarly, for us, if we are not well, when I say not well, it could be physically not well, mentally, emotionally unwell, what do you do? What do? We do all kind of things. We try all kind of ways. But sometimes it could be only one reason. Our environment is not helping. Could be. Our environment, the people around me, instead of helping me become happier, make my life more difficult. Okay? And sometimes, sorry to say, sometimes relatives are the culprit. Right? They say you can choose your friend, cannot choose your relative. I'm not saying they're bad. Don't get me wrong. I love my relatives, but sometimes some or one or two of them, it doesn't take a lot. Just one or two of them, you wish they don't exist. Yeah. So they are like that, and we say, but sometimes relative is okay. You can keep them far away and just occasionally visit. But what if your environment itself is not conducive? What do? You can work very hard, try your best, do your best, but at the end of the day, the result is I'm not happy. I'm still not satisfied. I still get sick. I still get a lot of problems every day. And if that happens, then you find that the only reason is the water. We are the fish in this aquarium. The water is not right. We need to get out. We need to find an environment that will be helpful for us. So the question is our spiritual environment conducive for our spiritual growth? We need to look at our environment. So we need to do something like this. Get out. Go to an environment that will be conducive for us. If you find your environment now is already conducive, well done. It is a blessing. It is your good luck or your good karma, whichever it is. You are very well, there are certain things that are right, and therefore it helps you. But if the environment is not right, you need to take a good look. Why is it not right? Why is it not conducive? And you need to find a way out. Let me give you an example. The Buddha himself. Those of you who know about the life of the Buddha, he was brought up in a very, good environment. Has everything he needed. Yeah, his father was a ruling class. He belonged to ruling class. Yeah, but he found even though he has everything that he has with him, he's still not a happy man. Okay, he has everything he wanted, everything that he needed, and he was not happy. Some people feel like this, right? I have everything I needed. I have a good job. I have a good family. I have a good, I live in a good place, but I'm still not happy. Yes? Yes? So we feel that way sometimes. So what the Buddha did was, he continued to stay in his environment, we wouldn't have what we call Buddhism today. Why did he choose to get out of the palace to become a wandering mendicant, a monk? The only reason, his environment is not helping his spiritual growth. He had to get out. I mean, put it this way. He has access to everything possible within the palace, right? Access to education. If you want to learn about spiritual experience, he can learn, right? But why did he choose to get out? Because of the environment. So I want to come back to this. I'm leading you somewhere, don't worry. Going to a spiritual environment that is conducive is a very important decision to make for our spiritual growth. If we want well-being, if we want happiness, the only way is to first of all take a good look at around us. Is it helping? If it's not helping, we better do something. If it's helping, then make full use of it. Yeah? Just like those of you who have a garden. How many of you do gardening? You do gardening? Yeah? Yeah. What if your plants don't live the way you want them to grow? What do? What do you do to treat the plants? Sorry? Can't hear you. There's always what? Oh, okay. Google will help you. Okay. Google will help you. YouTube will help you and all that. But they will teach you what? They will teach you maybe, okay, do this, don't do that, and things like that. You need to change the soil. You need to do something to make sure it will be a conducive conditions and environments that will be helpful for the growth. So if we want to grow, we need to know that the conditions around us are helpful. All right? And more so, our spiritual growth depends a lot on the environment that we need, the spiritual environment that we are at. So I want to give you the idea on how we can grow spiritually, starting with what are the conditions necessary, step by step leading to what we call a spiritual experience, like the happy face we see, relax, very nice, very peaceful, you know. So that's what we want. Okay? You want that, right? Yeah. Please say yes. Otherwise, I think we. Okay. So, how can we create a conducive spiritual environment? Now, I want to give you a very simple 3-step way lah. It's not all common sense, but it's from the sutta themselves. These are all the Buddha in his teachings. You know, he's trying to teach in so many ways. Ultimately, it starts with somewhere, it ends somewhere. That's the Buddha's teaching. Beautiful in the beginning, good in the middle, good at the end. That's what the Dhamma he described. Is beautiful, is good and beautiful in the middle beginning. Is auspicious in the beginning, auspicious in the middle, auspicious at the end. So let's start at the beginning. What do you mean when we say, how can we create a conducive spiritual experience? Let me give you the 3 steps to spiritual success. Okay, assuming we agree what spiritual success means lah. It means well-being, happiness, you know, relaxed, I would say. Somebody who is got spiritual well-being is normally somebody very relaxed one. They got a good sense of humor. They can laugh at everything. You know, they don't tell people what to do, what not to do. They are not so confined to rules and regulations. They are more about experience. You know, so they do that. Now, what is the 3 steps to spiritual success? Number 1, very important. If you ask me, the prerequisite is this thing called association. Association. What does it mean by association? It means who you hang out with. Who are the people you spend most of your time with? Where do you entertain yourself? Okay, young people, entertainment. Where do you entertain yourself? Now that's very important because through association is where we start with the first thing, our environment. So according to the Buddha in the Mangala Sutta, I'm sure some of you are very familiar with this. Asevanacha balanang panditanancha sevana. Puja cha pujaniyanang etang mangala muttamang. Not associating with fools, associating with the wise, honoring those worthy of honor. These are the highest blessings. In other words, the Buddha is trying to say, choose the crowd you hang out with, choose the people we spend our time with. And it's good to see all of you here coming together because it means you are choosing the right crowd to hang out with on a Sunday morning. Not to be in the market gossiping with the rest of them, you know. I mean, I know you know, my father also go market, you know, he will, but he doesn't do you know, but some of the people down there, they would hang out there and they spend 2 hours in the kopitiam talking about the government and, you know, what is not so right about the country and things like that. I mean, fine lah. Once in a while you do that, but if you do that all the time, then what are you doing to that? It means the association you have with such people does not lead to your spiritual success. If you associate with people that are like-minded, like all of you here in the hall, sitting here, not just to listen to the talk, but to be associated with. I mean, we have friends from Melbourne and coming back to Malaysia, and you find, where do I go on a Sunday? And perhaps today you decided, let's come to SJBA. Why do we do so? Because you want to be associated with such communities. Association is important. It's a choice we make. It's a choice we make. So the Buddha says, first thing is about association. It's about learning to be with the people. Make a choice to spend more time with such people, less time with maybe gossipers. And I mean, occasionally I enjoy that as well. I hang out with my friends, talk about politics occasionally. But okay lah, just enough. Don't need to spend all my time with it. Right? You agree with that? Okay. The other thing that when we talk about association is also this second verse in the Mangala Sutta, Patirupa Desa Vaso. So, Patirupa Desa Vaso, it means living in a suitable locality or a suitable region or a suitable place. Sumanjaya is a suitable locality or not? Why is it so suitable? I tried to find this picture here. This is a Subhan Jaya picture. Why is it suitable? It's a hybrid kampong and city feeling, right? You know, I mean, I've been living here for the longest time. Everything I want is here. I hardly get out. That's one. Secondly, it is not so city-like, but it's enough to be like a city, but it's not really a city. So a bit of kampong feeling. So people ask me, I don't know, my children now ask me, Papa, where is my kampong? I say every day lah. Every day you're in the kampong. So this is your kampong. So living in a suitable locality, having made merit in the past, being rightly resolved in oneself, this is the highest blessing. In other words, we must have done something good in the past that has led us to live in this locality, wherever you are. Could be Subang Jaya, could be anywhere. As long as it's a suitable place to live in, that is a blessing. So when we have this environment, then and we are associated with the people that are, that are helping us along the spiritual path and experience, then it is a first step towards well-being, towards happiness. Just remember that. So making an effort to come on a Sunday morning to SJBA is not a waste of time. I mean, okay, maybe some of you may come here because there's a Dhamma talk going on, so I go lor. But it's not just that, right? It's about coming because it's the right thing to do, regardless of who is the Dhamma speaker. Because you come here because you want to feel associated with wise people lah. Now, when we say wise people, it's not only smart people lah, people who can help you make good decisions in life for it matter. Right? Some people are very smart, but they help you make wrong decisions. Have you ever seen that? Yeah? Some people are very smart, but you hang out with them, they advise you all the wrong thing, and then you actually do the wrong things. But what if you're in an environment where the people are helpful, not just physically, but helping you to make good decisions in life? That's very important. We ourselves, on our own, can only do so much. But the right friends can help us, like what Brother Chim was mentioning just now. The whole of the holy life is about associating with the right friends. Friendship, the right kind of people. Those are very, very critical. And the Buddha emphasized this again and again and again in so many places in the suttas. But the Buddha never tells us, go and live in the forest somewhere and meditate your whole life. That's not the right way to practice. Even the monastic communities live in the community. Why is that so? Because it's about association, friendship, doing things in the like-minded way, conducive for our own and the community experience in the spiritual life. So I hope you all can see now what I mean by spiritual lah. Okay. So now the next thing is, the next step after we have associated with the right people and doing whatever we can do to make good choices with the, hang out with the right people, is orientation. Orientation have to do with what we do now. So you have made a decision, I want this kind of life. But it's all about orientating ourselves towards a certain way, in a certain manner. You see, orientation is important. If you are driving, how do you orientate your car? You turn the steering wheel. Okay? If you are, driving is a good example. If you do not orientate your car in the right direction, you end up going the wrong way. And not only that, you get into accidents. So orientation is important. How do we orientate our life? What do we mean by orientating our life? And the Buddha has given his very simple but very important message. All Buddhas teach this. In Pali, Dhammapada verse 183 summarize these three things already. Sabba papasa akarana kusalasa upasampada sacitta pariyodapana etang buddhana desanang. What is this? Anybody know? I'm not testing your Pali, but this is a formula for all Buddhists. Sabba papasa akarana. Avoiding all evil, not so good things, Kusalasa upasampada. Do the right thing, do the good thing, do the wholesome thing. Sachitta pariyoda pana. Chitta means the mind. So what does it mean? To cultivate, purify, practice, whatever. So do good, avoid evil, purify the mind. That's the formula for all Buddhists. Orientation means that. But I like to put it in a different way. I'm going to say that orientation have to do with the A, B, and C. A, B, and C. It's the same thing. All right? Avoid evil, what does it mean? Abandon unskillful habits. Abandon unskillful habits. We all have habits. Some habits are good, some habits are not so good. They are not so skillful. How do we practice in a way that we can abandon unskillful habits? Build skillful habits. Do good, do the right thing. Keep your precepts. And cultivate the heart and the mind through whatever practices. That's important. That's called orientation. If we can do these things, we are orientating our life in a certain direction. You get what I mean? A lot of people in life got no direction. Finish school, go to find job already, earn some money, go get married. After get married, get divorced. Okay, sorry, no, not get divorced. After get married, you have children, and then after having children, you do this. By the time you go through the whole cycle, at the end after that, you say, "Apa ni? What is life all about?" But what if you have a certain direction in life? What if I know that in life my direction is about spiritual success? Then what would I do differently? I will orientate myself, abandoning the unskillful. Some of the habits are not so good. Let's minimize them. Good habits, build them. Get into the habit of doing something wholesome, something good. And then cultivate the heart and the mind, because ultimately the mind and is the one that will make us fall back to old habits. We need to cultivate it so that our mind is resilient, strong, capable, able to handle problem, solve problem, make good decision. That's what leads to spiritual success. Orientation. The other way of orientation is to put it another way. Now, we all know this formula. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Doing good, keeping your precepts, and Bhavana means development. Developing ourselves, growing certain things in ourselves, especially the mind. And that's very, very critical, very crucial for spiritual success. So the first thing is what? Association, right? Then orientation. Getting ourselves oriented towards a certain direction. And that direction is following the Buddha. It's a simple thing. Whose direction? Buddha. The Buddha's direction has given us in a simple formula. Abandon unskillful habit or avoid evil. Build skillful habits, doing good things. Doing the right things, cultivate ourselves so that the mind is more resilient, calmer, better, can make good decisions. And that's important. All right. So that leads to the second part really, association, orientation. The last one is hard to do, but it's also important. It's called transformation. If you can associate the right people, orientating ourselves in a certain way, keep on practicing, cultivating, eventually it should lead to transformation. Where we started from and where we are, there must be a change. There should be a change. If there's no change, some people, they come to the temple, they come to Buddhists, or you even go online, they listen to all the talk. After that, after a while, you talk to them, actually, they are just the same person as before. Even worse off sometimes, become worse off. Then they have not transformed. So the next part is also important. Is there a change? Is there a different kind of person? Do you see him kind? Is he a kinder person? Is he a more open person? Is she a less jealous person? If they are becoming that way, then they are in the right path. There is some transformation happening. If there's no transformation, then you find that such people, they are just either the same or worse off. So as we apply ourselves in spiritual practice, it's important that apart from doing the day-to-day things, apart from trying our best, when we orientate ourselves properly over a period of time, there should be a transformation. And we need to check that ourselves. Am I now a less angry person? Am I calmer? Am I more peaceful? Most important, have I become a more caring person? Or have I become a more, I would say cruel, but indifferent? Tidak apa, don't care, concern only about myself. If you find some people like that, then you find that's not right. Then that person is not having a spiritual success. In fact, it's a spiritual regress. It's a regress. It's a one step backward rather than a one step forward. So transformation is important. Now, how do we know somebody is transformed? There are three things you can notice. There are three things, A, B, and C. Somebody who is spiritually transformed, there's a certain transformation, a change. Normally, they are well adjusted. They are well balanced. And they are well connected. What does it mean? Somebody who is well adjusted is well adjusted, well balanced, well connected. Okay? So, he adjusts well to life. His actions are generally wholesome. Normally, most of the time, he will not be breaking the precepts. His speech, his thoughts, they are well adjusted to spiritual life in that sense. And this person is in harmony with himself and the environment around. So you find some people who are very well adjusted. How you know they're well adjusted? Normally they smile more. They smile. And they smile easily. Not fake one. Real, genuine smile. So you notice some people after a while they practice, then they become very, not only not smiling, very tense. Some people are very tense one. You talk to them, they're very tense one. Then you find that they are not well adjusted. But what if we can be well adjusted? And how do we get there? Go back one step, the orientation. You do dana, you do bhavana, sila. All those things will lead you towards maybe somebody who's kinder, more compassionate, more at ease, smiles more, laughs easily, good sense of humor. Okay? And his thoughts, his speech, his action, they are all good. That's what it means by spiritual person. So how you know somebody is spiritual? Very simple. Check some of this. And then we ask ourselves, can we be like that? Right? Next one. He's well balanced. He's at ease with himself, avoids two extremes, too much sensual enjoyment or too much self-punishment. Yeah, a lot of people punish yourself, right? I'm no good. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I don't think I can do that. It's called self-punishment. Either way, it's called extreme. So he has a balanced view of the world. He's well balanced. Third one, somebody who has transformed spiritually is also well connected. He's able to engage positively with others, manages their life stakeholders very well. In other words, his relationship with others in general, he's okay. Okay? If you have people who, in general, you find some people's relationship with people, how you know? You talk to them, after 1-2 times, you feel very tired. Yeah? And then after a while, you say, I better see him come. Hokkien, we say, siam. better avoid. Some people are like that. They're not well connected with others. People who are well connected, generally, it's easy. You talk to them, they will respond positively to you. Okay? And his healthy relationship building with others. He has that kind of behavior. All right? And thirdly, so once we can do that, then we say there is a transformation of the mind and the heart. Yeah, according to the Mangala Sutta, again, Puttasa loka dhammehi chittang yassa nekampati asokang virajang kemang etang mangala muttamang. Though touched by worldly conditions, their mind does not tremble. Sorrowless, stainless, secure. This is the highest blessing. Okay, so somebody who is doing associating with right people, orientating themselves correctly, doing the right things, transforming themselves, then you will find that they are not so easily, they will feel more happy more often lah. Generally speaking, they're not so easily affected by the winds lah, the 8 winds lah, gain and loss, fame and ill fame and all those things. Yeah. And the final verse in Mangala Sutta also says, Eta disani katwana sabbata maparajita sabbata soting gachanti etang mangala muttamang. So having completed these things undefeated everywhere, everywhere they go in safety, this is the highest blessing. So this is what it means by spiritual success. So do we want this? Imagine this. Everywhere undefeated. Everywhere they go in safety. How nice. I know some of us, how to go there. But it's possible. Possible because the Buddha taught the Dhamma because it's possible for us to get there. It's possible for us to reach there. And how do we get there? We need to go back to basic. Ask ourselves, have I associated with the right people? Is the environment around me, is it conducive? Number one. Secondly, do I orientate myself in the direction that is the right direction? Thirdly, am I transforming myself as an individual? If we can do these 3 things, then this itself is a given. This, whatever we want out of a spiritual life, is fulfilled. So I hope I've given you a good, framework. So now coming back to the title, Auspicious Victory. So what do you think auspicious victory means? This one not so important one. No need to remember. Never mind one. But it's in fact, Brother Chim gave me the idea. The meaning of auspicious victory is in the word Subham Jaya itself. In Pali, Subha means lucky, auspicious, pleasant, welfare. Okay, Subha, beauty, auspicious. This is from the Pali dictionary. Okay, so Subha, Subang. The word Su here denotes something good, something pleasant, good, welfare. But in this case, I take it to mean auspicious lah. Jaya, brother Jaya. Jaya means conquering, winning, victory. Overcoming. In this case, it's victorious. So when you see the word Subang Jaya, it means auspicious victory. So those of you who come to Subang Jaya Buddhist Association, that's what you get. Okay, all right. So beautiful, isn't it? We live in a place that is auspicious and victorious. How nice. Subang Jaya folks must be very proud, isn't it? Our Subang Jaya is a Pali word. It's a Pali Sanskrit kind of word. So, but it means auspiciously, beautifully, conducive for welfare and spiritual success. We have the conditions. Now is the time for us to make those conditions our own. Can we take this and make our life a spiritual success? Thank you very much. Yeah, online first. Any online ones? No? Okay, then let's start with the hall ones. If there are any online ones, we'll address them when they come. So any questions? We have. We have about 5 minutes or so lah. Yeah.
Colleagues, every time. So during tea time, we say, instead of lunch, I tend to hear, and nowadays people say, yeah, I don't want to listen to us. Keep on asking me to do again and again, right? So a lot of unpleasantness. Yeah. So what do you say about all these? These are practical things.
So the question is, if you are surrounded by negative energy, such as people who are not really on the right track, those of you who are working, maybe your work environment may not be very conducive, for example. I don't know about you, but I know people who have very toxic work cultures. They have difficult bosses, sometimes impossible colleagues. And as they continue to work in that place, they find that they are becoming more and more miserable with life. Pay is good, but the pay goes to the medical bills. So how do we, deal with such a situation? It's not easy because kita semua cari makan lah, you see. We have to work in an environment, we have to work in a place, we have to deal with people. Sometimes it's not so much of external, but it could be internal. I want to give you a perspective first. Sometimes some people's life is miserable at work. Could be one reason. Don't know how to manage boss. Some people in life, they just continue to work very hard, but they don't manage the boss. Could be. They don't manage stakeholders. And at the end of the day, what happens is they become the victim of circumstances. Not only that, sometimes they don't manage those expectations. One of the key stakeholders, their boss or their colleagues, they find that in their working life, they become very, very tough. Every day is a battle to just survive, and they don't look forward to work. It could be true. Sometimes it could be oneself. We are not able to manage stakeholders. I'm not going to go into detail. Could be one of the reasons we ourselves may not have managed. We work hard. We do our best, but we did not manage key stakeholders. That could be one key reason why sometimes life at work is tough. Not because we don't do our work. Sometimes you can do all the right thing, your boss not happy. Sometimes you can do all the right thing, your customers call you. Sometimes you can do all the right things, and yet people still blame you. So one of the reasons, not always, but one of the reasons could be we didn't manage key stakeholders. Yeah, there could be one important key stakeholders. This customer, this Dato or Tan Sri, and I didn't manage him. I only manage what I do, but I never keep him updated, whatever it is. Could be one of the reasons. But having said that, the other reason why sometimes life at work can be very tough is it could be true. The environment around us is very, very toxic. And how do you know it is so toxic to the level you cannot tolerate? One of the signs, if you find your life at work is miserable, could be your symptom is you take MC very often. Okay, you start to fall sick very often. Even if you don't fall sick, you will find a way to fall sick because you just don't want to go to work. Nowadays, even flexible work arrangement, you work online and all that kind of thing, but it's still the same thing. So it could be true, sometimes not recommended, but it could be true. You may have to, find a different place to work, that could be true. Sometimes it's like that. So I'm not sure if you answered the question, but that's in general the perspective. So we have to make a choice. What do you want out of life? Some people decided after a while, they says, pay is good, but I want a life. And life is also, I always tell people in my advice to all the people who go to work, it says, work for a living, get a life. Don't lose your life because of work. You need to work for a living, but make sure you also have a life. And what does it mean by having a life? You need to be happy. You need to have spiritual success. Spiritual cultivation and environment is all about leading on to well-being and happiness. Am I well adjusted? Am I well balanced? Am I well connected? If we don't have these three, then we are just losing our life. So work for a living, get a life. That's very important. Right? Sorry, very philosophical. Yeah, any other questions? One more maybe. So the question is, yeah. Okay, so the question is, can you send your loving thoughts and loving kindness to the people around you and all that? Please do that more often lah. That's important. But don't just send loving kindness. May you be well and happy. May you be well and happy. May you be peaceful and all that kind of thing. But then after that, see the person's face. So same thing. Get emotional hijacks and reactions again. It's not just about that. I think apart from just sending loving thoughts, which is helping ourselves actually to be more calmer, less hatred and all that kind of thing. I think apart from that, we also need to look at perspective. The reason why we do metta or loving kindness is to give us a perspective. A perspective to say, actually, why am I so upset? What's the problem here, for example? Is to calm ourselves down. Because if we are not calm, we are not peaceful, we cannot make decisions, good ones. So a lot of time, the Buddhist practice is a very, very good practice to put our mind at ease, stabilize. Metta helps. Metta helps a lot to calm ourselves, to make ourselves more, less tense, more open. Once we are less tense, more open, it leads to maybe better, better behaviors, so to speak, lah. I think the story by Ajahn Brahm is always, the one that some of you may have heard this story many times. So I'm going to tell this, and then we're gonna stop here, lah. The story is this lady, she was going to the customer's place, and this CEO is known she was supposed to meet the CEO to present something, but this CEO is very famous for putting down people. In fact, during his meeting, he tells, "You're no good. This is not right. You're so stupid. Cannot do this," and so on and so forth. And so she went there, and so happened the CEO was there in another meeting internally scolding his people, telling out his people, and you can hear and you can feel the tenseness in the environment. And this lady, of course, she learned a bit of metta meditation, a bit of metta practice, cultivation. She then told, it was still going on. So what she did was she just sat down quietly in the conference room by herself, and instead of preparing her presentation, some people are, when you know the CEO like that, they all panic one, no. Yeah, what liao eh? How adjust my presentation, adjust this, adjust. They're so panic. Yeah, but instead of doing that, this lady, what she did was she just sat there, and she did metta. May you be well and happy. May I be well and happy. May you be peaceful, and all those things. She just radiated, and it only took her about 5 minutes plus or so, and somehow or rather, she didn't think about the CEO, she didn't think about the work, she didn't think about anything. She just focused on making herself a lot more open, calmer, peaceful, and things like that. And then what happened was she felt differently when the CEO entered the room. And he, of course, who is this? Why are you doing here? And things like that. And instead of she responding in a normal way, out of nowhere, she just said to him, "You have such beautiful blue eyes. They remind me of my son." Just like that. And it's not fake one, no? It's just that because she did her metta, it came out. And automatically the CEO changed the face and listened to her. And she won the contract. So yes, so those of you who want to learn about metta practice, Brother Jaya, Brother Andy, they are here. SJBA has meditation practice on a weekly basis. Monday and Thursdays, we will have more of this information for everyone when the time comes. So yes, cultivation. That's why A, B, and C. The C is important. Abandon unskillful habits, build skillful habits, cultivate the mind, cultivate the heart. Because only by cultivating the mind and heart can we respond to life positively, meaningfully. And then life become richer, life become pleasant, life become, so we can say our spiritual environment is conducive. We are creating the conditions for spiritual success. That's what it means by Subang Jaya, auspicious victory. All right. Thank you very much, Dd Chuan.
This morning, we have a question. Right. Okay, we'll take a question. Yes, sure.
I don't quite catch the question. So yeah, maybe you want to try again. So what you're saying is you are a student now. You are trying your best to to have a healthy So what's your question here? Kalau bercakap dalam bahasa Indonesia, saya boleh bisa faham sedikit. Yeah. Oh. When you say not so meaningful, what do you mean? So you are saying you're not affected by the environment so much lah. You just do whatever you can do, have a healthy relationship, keep your mind and all that. And how do you feel? How do you feel? Okay. So the question, I'm not sure if I get it. Yeah, you want to help with that? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's neither good nor bad lah. It's just what it is. I think if you have a environment, a relationship that may not be helping you progress further, sometimes it's okay. It's just good enough for you to keep a group of friends that they can maybe be I mean, I do have friends that I just keep in touch with lah. It's okay, keep in touch with. But and occasionally I have breakfast with them and have a good meal, have a good time. But there's only so far they can take me lah. Yeah, there's only so far they can take me. All I need to do is ask myself, where do I want to go from here? If that doesn't lead me to the next step on my life, I need to find another set of friends that will also be, I don't abandon them. I still keep the relationship, but I also need another group of friends that will also be helping me to grow. And sometimes it's not easy to find. Because as we have progressed over a period of time, you notice sometimes me and my friend, hey, bo xiang liao leh, different already leh. He's still there. I have moved. And how? They are not going to go along with me. So what do? I may have to sometimes find other associations. And this can come in the form of, that's why coming to temple like this is very important to see whether people are also, progressing in the right way. So it's true. Sometimes it's really lonely after a while. My friend is not the same as what I want. So it's true. Sometimes you have to be very conscious. I'm still friends with them, but I'm going to tell myself I'm going to also do it differently. I'm going to find a different set of friends. I'm going to find a different set of people. I'm going to maybe spend more time in doing other things that will be helping my growth and my life to be more meaningful. That's all only. Yeah, but don't abandon your old friends. That's all. So what do you mean? Let me give you my example. I started my cell group. My cell group is my small group of friends that is coming together to discuss, share the Dhamma. But this group of friends is different group of friends compared to my old friends. Why? Because we have different type of conversation. I may not teh tarik with this new friend. I teh tarik with my old one, but this new group of friends will help me to grow differently. Maybe they talk about different things. They talk about life. They talk about, what is next in life and things like that. So I may have to make that kind of choice and decision. Spiritual practice and spiritual life is like that. If spiritual life is always comfortable, I'm just going about my daily basis, that's not spiritual life. That's just normal life. Nothing wrong with that. Some people choose that kind of life just to go through the motion. But if you want a different experience and a different life, you have to make a different choice. And that choice sometimes is not so easy because that choice may require you to make a sacrifice in terms of time you spend, in terms of things you do. So when you say spiritual life is to make a choice to do it differently. Okay, that's for now. All right, thank you very much.
Sadhu, give you a round of applause and break sadhu. All right. Well, that's the end of the talk. I think very important is we are all gathered here physically at SJBA Vihara or Subang Jaya Vihara. I must say that many of you come all the way from your home, the comfort of your home, but still you come. And even though you have some purpose in coming over this side, but you come earlier than usual. That is a great effort you have done. I must also have gratitude to our speaker, Dd Khoo Nee Wern, who has spent his time to prepare and deliver his Dhamma sharing. He has to wake up early too, and all he had to sacrifice his Sunday morning. Gratitude to those who have been listening, learn, and cultivate, and what they have learned. To those who have assisted us behind the scene, we have a brother who even our station is online, and we have the brother Ye behind us. Gratitude to those online Dhamma friends who have been listening and participating in every week in this Sunday Buddha Puja service. I'm sure they will continue to log in to follow us, even though we are already appearing physically at Subang Jaya Vihara. And with the merits accrued, let us dedicate the merits to all our departed relatives, families and friends, and all beings. May all beings, all rejoice to the merits. Sharing of merits. Imang no punya bagang mata pitunancha acharya nancha sabba satanancha sabba mitanancha Sabba Nyatinancha, Sabba Petanancha, Sabba Devatanancha, Bhajemam. Imam no punya bagang, Sabba Satanang Dema, Sabbe Sata Sukita Hontu. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kammena mame balasamagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanibbana patiyang. Idang me punyang asawakaya wahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibbanasa pacayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters, let's pay homage to Puja. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi, Sanghang pujemi. Sukhi Hontu. Thank you very much for all of you who have joined us, whether in the hall or online, on this Buddha Puja, to the end of the session until to the dedication of merits. For those who are online, you may continue to say, express your thanks. Our next service will be next Sunday, 3rd of June, same time. We are also at the SJBA Vihara. Do visit us in the Facebook or your society's Facebook for information. So see you again, and may you and your family be safe, well, happy, and peaceful always. Remember, it's going to rain. Drive safely, but important thing, stay safe, stay cautious. Sukhi Hontu, goodbye. Sabbe Sata Sukita Hontu.
Bahung sahan semabhinim mitesayudantang ngirimi kelang uditego Sasene marang Dana di Dhamma vidina Jitwa